Hi everyone, welcome to week 3 of our chats with inspiring women here on Fabric Dreamer. Today I've got a very special guest, Cindy Luken out of Sydney of LUK Beautifood. If you haven't heard of this, I'm sure you will be going and checking it out after our chat. She makes the most fabulous lip balms, lipsticks, lip crayons, all clean, all safe, all nourishing. So let's chat to Cindy. Hello Cindy, welcome.
Hello, welcome me.
It is so nice to have you on here. This is week 3 and we're going to chat all things LUK. And you're a mum and a busy entrepreneur. You've won awards, you live in Sydney. I'd love you to just tell us a little bit about your life in Sydney, your life as a mum, a wife.
Oh my gosh, where do I begin? Number one, begin with, I love what you do. I love your energy. I love everything about it. And so it just epitomizes what my life is about. And that is being with creative people, loving doing what you do and trying to make the most of everyday moments. But so yeah, me, my gosh, I'm a mature mother. So I'm 55 now and I can't believe that. I have an absolute passion for food, and I followed food my entire life. I studied food nutrition. I had a biscuit company that I built up and sold.
Oh, wow.
And I ended up in makeup and makeup made from food, because I just so believe that, you know, what you put in your body is a result of the energy, the good skin, everything about, who you are and what you do. And I figured that if you eat good food, you might as well put it on your skin. So I started, LUK Beautifood, it's 10 years ago now I launched my first product. But me personally, we're in the lower North Shore of Sydney. We live in the bush. I go walking every morning. My kids are 13 and 15. They're into life. I have the most amazing husband who had his own business, and he inspired me to get into business many, many years ago, because he just was in a position of choice. He chose what he wanted to do, and he gave me the most amazing philosophy to pursue that you don't have to be in a job 24/7. You can just be responsible for every action you make. So I am.
Awesome. That's so good. You mentioned that you launched in 2012, so 10 years ago, with your first product, Lip Nourish. Yep. What came before the beginning of LUK? What was your journey before that? You mentioned food and nutrition.
Yeah, so I think, what I just said about my husband having his own business, I was given these insights back in, I must have been in my mid-20s, to what life can be like. And honestly, I'd finished university studying food nutrition. I'd worked at Sara Lee and created their sticky date pudding. And I
did you?
Yes, I did.
My husband vanilla bean. We microwave that and added. He added double cream.
Really?
We loved that. Oh wow!
So that sticky date pudding recipe, it was really inspo from around like late 1980s. And I used to work for the most amazing caterer in Sydney called Norma Willis, and we cooked for kings and queens when Prince Charles and Lady Diana came out with the bicentenary, all that sort of stuff. And we used to make sticky date pudding. Like, we pioneered that whole sticky date pudding in our catering business. And so then, yes, I left and went to Sara Lee, and I took the recipe with me and just modified it. And so it's been in the market since 1990.
Wow, that's so cool. Sorry, I got you off track.
No, that's okay. I can't remember what question I was.
You were inspiring us. You were talking about I don't know. Anyway, but where was the turning point for you to launching LUK?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. And so and just going on from that food, I then started a catering company because I had experience in that. We used to make little biscuits on the side, little petit fours. I then turned that into a biscuit company. We used to make like 30 million biscuits a year. So I built that up and sold it from 96 to 203, and sold it to a company called Stuart Alexander that owned the Rosella brand and Mentos mints and stuff like that. And then they unsold it to Byron Bay Cookies. And then when they went bust, then some other big company bought it. But it still exists, still in David Jones, still on the Qantas flight, still around. But what's really important about this little story is that I couldn't work out how to have kids and run a business at the same time. Because if I do something, I'm just all in. And so I went, right, okay, I'm going to sell this, going to have children. had a little bit of time off. And it was then that a girlfriend of mine was looking at putting together an indie beauty company. So with small independent Australian brands. And she asked me if I would do some due diligence on one of the brands. And so I did. It was a beautiful brand called Arnaud. And then this is whilst I'm, pregnant, about to have a baby. And whilst I was doing that, I saw how a lip tint was made. And I was just fascinated in it. And I went home, I researched it. This is around 2006. I researched it, how to make lipsticks, and I couldn't read the formulation. The ingredients, I'm going take A, mix A, add B, and I'm going, oh, this is a bit different to how you make food. But the bottom line of it is, I just went, oh my God, I don't know what's in these products, and we're putting them on our lips and we're eating it. And that's what sparked me entering the beauty industry. And so what I did is I interpreted them. I realized they were fats and oils and waxes. And then I just went out to ingredient suppliers. And my kitchen, like I've got a big stainless steel center island. I'm telling you, I had 30 oils, 20 waxes, and butters and everything. And I just
became a mad scientist.
Yeah, and get mad scientists and get all these different textures. And then I really learned about the different, whether dry oil, wet oil, they absorb, whether they didn't absorb, and really worked on that. And I just went, I'm going to make the creamiest, smoothest, yummiest lipstick that is just really sheer, that can go in my pocket, I can wear all the time, and it's not really makeup-y. And honestly, that's what I did. So that was back in 2008, I did the formulations, found a manufacturer, spent 2 years on that. Getting that right, and then went into shelf life testing, because that takes anywhere from 6 months to 12 months, and packed. So in the middle of all of that, had 2 kids. And when popped out the second one, when she was 10 months, grabbed my 2-year-old and my husband, and we jumped on a barge in France, and we went barging for 18 months. And I assumed, with all this internet and everything that was happening, that I would go, oh, what am I going to do at night? And I would set up an online business, and I'd start to sell my lipstick online from France.
On the barge.
Like, totally, like, DHL was trying to send us the samples to check off on the shelf life testing, and I couldn't speak French, and I'm just going, this is just insane. There wasn't internet in the bottom of the Loire, getting a dongle, like seriously, 12 years ago. It was really, really hard. I went, no, this is family time. And so I just put that on the back burner. And so what happened is that when we got home, the world's most amazing trip, I then created the Table of Fabulousness, which was for women in business, because I felt really disconnected. I hadn't been in business for 4 or 5 years from then. Technology had taken over.
I think that's I'm glad you're talking about that, because it's such a common feeling for women that have had children, and you're sort of in that moment of, you feel really disconnected from what's going on.
Yeah, you really, really do. So I created this Table of Fabulousness. So I started to write a blog, the beauty kitchen blog. And on that beauty kitchen blog, I said, this is exactly how I'm feeling. And I said, would anybody like to come to my house, and I will cook you a 3-course lunch, and we will have an unofficial boardroom lunch. And oh my God, all these people just suddenly wrote back. And out of that, I created the best friends and colleagues ever. And it went from, and we decided what we do around that is create the Table of Fabulousness. And then I had table A, table B, table C. Then it went to Newcastle. And then I had like 60, 80 women that were all part of this. And it was just insane. And I can tell you right now, from Lee Holmes to Alex Stewart to Julia Bickerstaff to, oh my God, the most amazing women, Irene that had Nourished Life. We all became these great friends, and they're still my friends to today.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. So off track, but going back, what happened then is that in 2012, I then launched my Lip Nourish online on the back of the Beauty Kitchen blog. And then from 2012 to 2015, just slowly built that up. My product was always contract manufactured. So this was the Lip Nourish range, 6 shades, nudes and neutrals. And I just built that up from home, picked and packed, did absolutely everything. And then in 2016, dropped the bombshell. I raised $2 million to scale the business. Wow. And then since 2016 to now, it's been the hardest 6 years of my life. Yep. Because, it didn't go to plan. We put money into people, we put money into online marketing, and it didn't scale at the rate that it needed to scale at. So I have been working my absolute butt off, getting the business to where it is today.
Yeah. So
And
was that
so,
scaling with those first 6 shades, or was that to incorporate? Yeah, okay.
it was. And at the same time, I also used to sell the 100% pure range, because Irene from Nourish Life had the import rights to it. And because we're good friends, I was the sole person that was allowed to sell it. And that business, because I had a brand, it brought a lot of traffic to our website. And when I decided to just take LUK Beautifood, it then, we lost a lot of that traffic, and the average order value therefore decreased. And I think I was just, I think a little bit too naive. Even though I had all these really good people around me, you have to act really quick. When you go out to raise capital, you've got a plan, you've got an implementation, you've got to reach those targets. And then, after the first 18 months, I just started to wind it back and try and get, on top of what is this online business doing. And we pivoted to bricks and mortar. And that's why I think now we're so strong in the bricks and mortar channel, the traditional channel. And we do, some of our business now online.
So you've got bricks and mortar being your stockers, or do you have a flagship?
No, to our stockers. So we'd have about 700 stockists now that are beautiful fashion stores, gift and lifestyle spas, sort of compounding pharmacies. So really nice pharmacies where women go in to get their quality products.
Yeah.
And, in America, we're in about 50 doors, and they're beautiful doors. Like they're, the Canyon Ranch spas, milk and honey spas. And those customers love our products. We're in Hong Kong, we're in Taiwan.
Tell us a little bit about how the edible nature of them, and what sort of things you've seen in the beauty space that have just, I think we're all beginning to wake up a little bit to toxins in makeup and things like that. But you've seen it, you've experienced it. Can you explain or expand on that a little bit more, where, people may not understand what's in traditional cosmetics?
Absolutely. I think it goes back to that 2006 when I was trying to read that recipe and I didn't know what the ingredients were. And when I did discover them, they were mostly synthetics. They were honestly derivatives of petroleum. So they were plastics. And that's the part that shocked me first and foremost, is that, we talk about mineral oil, or we talk about, there's synthetic beeswax and things. And it just doesn't make sense to me, because that creates an occlusive layer. It stops your skin from breathing, because it is like a very, very fine plastic wrap. And so it was only last month that for the first time ever, they've actually discovered plastic in the bloodstream. They've made the first discovery of plastics in our bodies. And I think this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of exploration of, what is in our body. So I see that as a synthetic. I see that as something that's not natural. So I personally don't like synthetic ingredients. And that's everything from the waxes to the oils to the texture modifiers, to the preservatives, and also the colours. So that's why you don't see synthetic colours, the FD&C dyes in our products. And that's also why our products don't last on your lips as long as everybody else's. And so that's why I built a ritual into the application of Lip Nourish. It's just like, look, it's that little stick is your permission to pause. So just, it doesn't last all day, but it means that you have to top it up when you're eating something. And it's a good thing. It just allows you to stop and refocus, take a breath and apply it. So when you look at the ingredients that are in cosmetics, that is a biggie for me, is the synthetics. You then look at some of the heavy compounds in some, for example, the FD&C dyes. They use lakes, they use metals to attach the dye to it. And that can introduce heavy metals into your toxic load. And you hear a lot about lipsticks that have got lead in them, or cadmium, or various things. So that's why I just put that over there. And then you can then look at, for example, your preservatives. I mean, people are absolutely, they make sure they don't have phthalates and they don't have parabens in their products. So phthalates aren't a preservative, they're a texture modifier, they're a fixer. But if we look at, for example, the parabens, they've been linked to disrupting your hormones. They've been linked to cancer. And so when you actually have a look at some of the studies related to the preservatives, related to some of the texture modifiers, it just doesn't add up. You've got fluorine releasing compounds. You've got, there's just, I mean, the list goes on forever.
Yeah, it sounds very similar to the perfume industry and what's happening, and even the sense of reapplying, you know, a natural perfume and reapplying a natural lipstick.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so you just need to make a decision for yourself. Do you want to have a product that is clean, in that you don't want to have an effect on your body's natural process? And I think a lot of it stems back to when women are thinking about having a baby, and they really want to clean their body up. They want to give their baby their first chance. They see a doctor, they see a naturopath. And, you know, everything from, you know, don't eat salami to, you know, don't have seafood, don't apply strong perfumes, don't wear, you know, bright colors. And I think even in Asia, there's a tradition. You just don't even wear lipstick when you're going to have a baby, because you make sure that you're giving that best start. And so, and, you know, that information and that knowledge has very much been driven by the internet, by the sharing of knowledge, by the conversations that are going on. So I've seen a massive awareness and a massive change in the conversation over the 10 years. It's incredible, and I think that it's really exciting. But what's also a little bit hard for people is that those long chemical names, it's hard to work out if it actually is a naturally derived ingredient that is still a good ingredient, but it has a chemical sounding name.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's where it's a little bit hard. And now that the natural industry is really, natural industry was rebranded clean. It's now rebranded conscious as well. And that's very much about eco-friendly sustainability, which is a whole other arm. But it just means that it's really hard for you to work out. You just can't pick up an ingredient statement now and understand what it means. And when now that money's piling into this industry, the ingredient companies are creating beautiful ingredients that mimic the performance of some of the synthetics that really gave amazing results, but weren't necessarily good for you. And so we're entering that next era of science and clean and natural. And that's just as exciting as well, because women don't want to give up performance. They really don't.
No.
And, you know, and in this day and age, there's amazing science that can create clean ingredients that are not synthetics, that are just performing incredibly.
So talking about you and all the exciting new products that you're launching, is this something that you dream up, or are you solving a problem? Are you investigating and finding a popular product that needs a safe, clean alternative, and that's your domain to create that?
Oh, what a gorgeous question. Really interesting, because my Lip Nourish range, the original dream was I was going to make 6 lipsticks and make $100 million and live on an island. Because every product takes time, and every product takes inventory, and you know, the quicker you grow, the more product you need, the more money you need to invest. So there was a dream there. So those 6 lipsticks expanded to 14, and then about 2.5 years ago, when sustainability and a consciousness to the materials that are being used by cosmetic companies, so much plastic, so much disposable. When that was really, conversation was starting, I created the lipstick crayon range in response to consumers' needs to have a low waste product. And so those crayons have just been an amazing addition. So I call it a lipstick crayon because it's not only does it line, but it's more of a lipstick. So it's a handy lipstick, and you use a sharpener, and the shavings, because I didn't put that heavy color enamel on them, they can just go into the compost. Crayons are made from coconut oil, and they've got vitamin E in there, and they've got a little bit of silica in there, which just gives them the beautiful benefits, but it also gives that sort of soft focus. And so that product has been an absolutely beautiful lipstick product for us. And then then we hit COVID, right? So 2 years in COVID with women at home not needing a lipstick. And if they did go out, they had a mask on. It's not great for a lipstick business.
Yeah.
So, we really navigated it well, and we navigated it well because Lip Nourish really is that go-to balm with avocado oil, cocoa butter, and a beautiful mix of citrus and spice oils. Back to the Lip Nourish, it meant that women were still buying them because it was their one sort of savior, and they could still wander around home with a bit of lip nourish on their lips because it was sheer and it was moisturizing and they never got dry lips. But in the middle of last year, when we went into that really severe lockdown, I just went, oh my God, I'm just going to have to develop products. I'm going to have to put more products in my range because I need to generate more revenue. It was as simple as that. And so I automatically went, lips is my comfort area. Why don't I create some ritual products for lips? Why don't I help women have beautiful, soft, silky lips? Why don't I make a scrub and a polish and a sleeping mask? Why don't I do some serums? And so I just went into hyper product development mode, like seriously, developed 5 new products for lips that all came from creating this ritual. And creating products that had as pure ingredients as possible. And the green lip super scrub. Oh my God, the super greens lip scrub.
I've been playing with these products. They're amazing.
Aren't they amazing? And they came from, so that formulation, it came from scratch. So I didn't go to a manufacturer, because normally what happens, you go to a manufacturer, they've got a whole wardrobe of formulations. You take something and you then tweak it and then it's yours. No. I went, right, I don't want a scrub where all the sugar falls out. I want something that's a sorbet-like texture. I want something that's light. I want something that when you lift that lid, you go, right? And that all my products, you'll notice, are multisensory. So that comes back to food. It comes back to texture, flavor, color, everything about them. And so that super green scrub, I wanted a sorbet texture. I wanted it to have super greens. I wanted chlorophyll. I wanted grapeseed oil, high in antioxidants. So all these ingredients is what I wanted. I wanted to taste with lime, which is, that citrus zest that's in there is amazing. And so that's how I create a product. And I could give you the story on, whether it's the vitamin C nectar with the sea buckthorn oil and with the turmeric. And the silica, so silica's natural, it comes from quartz. And what I wanted with that one was just to find, when it goes on the surface, just to finally, I don't want to say fill, but, fill in any lines and just create a smoother surface. Yeah. And so then you could apply your lipstick and, hopefully for us more mature women, it wasn't going to go into the cracks and run as much. Yes. So every product that I create has an absolute purpose. It has a need because there's a need in the market. It has a need because the business needed it. And because of my science background and ability to understand ingredients and know what their nutrients are, know what their performance is, know how they can blend together and work synergistically. I know what their textures will do. I can create products very, very quickly. But I just stopped myself for those first 10 years of business from doing that because I was determined to just have a lipstick company. But yeah. And then, then I also diversified into something like Skin Nourish, which is the most divine product. So I did a body balm, which is for women who are a little more mature. And so absolutely indulgent moisturizer. And then it's got this luminizer in it so that you just can indulge in the, beautiful aromatics and then just have this all over body glow. And so that was like 20% cocoa butter. So yeah, every product, and the luminizers, they're just like, oh my gosh, I've got it on now. I've got it here, put it in my collar.
Well. And I've got, what am I wearing today? I've got cherry plum on today. And for someone that, for using all natural colours as well and no dyes, the range of colours is stunning. It's so beautiful. I could chat to you more, but I'm going to have to wrap up.
I know.
So I want to know what your favourite cocktail is.
My favourite cocktail? Well, at the moment, it's actually a Sans drink, Miss Cosmopolitan, which doesn't have any alcohol in it. And I have to have a wine a day. I love my wine. I love the aromatics. I just love the whole ritual behind it.
Beautiful.
And I'm like, oh yeah, no alcohol, And I tried this Miss Cosmopolitan and it was amazing. And I just put it on ice. I put it in a pretty glass and loved it. But other than that, if alcoholic cocktail, I don't even know the names of them, but something with lime and just a spirit and just fresh. So what's that? That's not margarita. Is it a margarita?
I don't know. I'm the same. I was thinking of mine, and mine's sort of, maybe grapefruit, maybe orange. It's got a bit of foam on top. Don't know if I've even had it, but that's what I would feel like.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, fresh and textural with, ice that's absolutely smashed up is my, my
hey, Cindy, what is your go-to daily product from your range? I know there's a million, but like the one that you cannot skip.
The one I cannot skip is my Lip Nourish in Rose Lime. So it's the color of my lips, but better. So it just fills them in. I can wear it at home. I can wear it out. I can put a little bit on my cheeks. And so I never have a day without Lip Nourish. It's amazing. Today I wanted a little bit more color. So I've only got a little bit. So I use the rosé. And I also pop that one on my cheeks. But yeah, Lip Nourish without doubt. Rose Lime is my absolute. And then the nude pink.
Oh, all of them.
Barber blush, and then but yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. It's been awesome, and I know that everyone will love checking out your brand. So thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.